Folks are fighting back. You heard from Representative Garcia. Andy, can we get a round of applause for Representative Garcia? There we go. So now let's talk about how folks are fighting back. Folks are fighting back from Iowa to Nebraska to Colorado to Florida, all over this country. They are following the lead of Representative Robert Garcia and some of the Democrats who are in Washington who have really figured out what they should be doing and who are leading the way and not just sitting there operating in 1990s politics. This is Representative Ashley Hinson's town hall in Iowa, and Representative Ashley Hinson is getting the business from the crowd. Here it is.
In two clauses in the big beautiful bill. One is to allow Trump to void elections that he feels he can, and the other one was to, where is it here, avoid contempt of court judgments. Why were those put in there?
Well, I think that kind of follows up on what Randy said. Our whole point is to make sure we don't have activist judges who are holding back, no matter who is agenda.
Yeah, and that wasn't it. That Ashley Hinson was getting a lot of boos from a lot of folks in that crowd who are really fed up with folks who are just really carrying the water for the Trump administration and not doing the real business of the people, allowing grifters to lead our government and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene to just go out and just be unhinged every single day. This is what the power that you have to be able to do this, to go out and go to these town halls or call your representatives and tell them, guess what? If you don't respond to me, if you don't fight for me, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, maybe you're MAGA and you're upset with them, then I'm going to vote you out. Representative Mike Flood's town hall in Nebraska went from 0 to 100 and really quickly too. People are fighting back. Here it is.
The president is destroying our democracy by defying the courts and the Constitution, attacking and silencing free speech in the media, allowing security breaches, erasing history, using tax dollars and presidential power for personal gains, blaming DEI and using it to discriminate, and promoting eugenics and genocide, all while showing signs of cognitive decline. Your votes, actions, and inactions show that you are a fascist politician, so please explain how you are not encouraging fascism, and are you going to invoke articles of impeachment against Trump?
I get that you get an applause line when you call me a fascist, but I'm not. I am not a fascist. I am an American, and I would never call you something like that. But I can tell you, at the end of the day, we have to live in this country together. I have an opinion about the debt. I believe that we need to cut spending. I believe that we need to figure this out before our financial markets fail. And I will do my best to stand up for you and the Constitution of the United States.
These representatives,
Next question.
These representatives don't like to be called names. They don't like to be called fascists. And perhaps they should have said, if you don't want to be called that, perhaps you should not act like one. Now, whether he's a fascist or not, I can't tell you. He says that he's not. But your actions can be fascist actions. Right? You can do things that are bigoted or racist or sexist or misogynist. It doesn't mean that that's your whole being. It means that the actions or the words that you're saying are those things. And maybe you don't even realize it. Maybe he doesn't know the definition of fascism. Maybe he doesn't understand that his actions are akin to fascism. And yes, the people are fighting back and they want change. Now, someone says that there is a statewide protest day on June 11th or June 14th. Please inform me, my co-hosts, my correspondents and reporters and producers who are out in the field. because we would like to be able to put it on the channel so that folks can know about it. We want people to know about it. Now, that's not all the business. Flood got a flood of criticism and people who were not happy with him at his town hall. That was just one. Here is another. People are fighting back. June 14th, they say. Thank you, Janelle. Here it is.
How do you justify the reduction of programs for poor while giving enormous tax breaks to the wealthiest 10% in the U.S.?
Well, ultimately, like I've said tonight, it's a balance. It's a balance. We need Medicaid for those that are the most vulnerable. We need Medicaid for those that are not able-bodied. We need Medicaid for the developmentally disabled and the mentally ill. We need health care services. We need EMTALA to work at our area hospitals. We need to know that if you present yourself at a hospital, we have a health care system that's going to help you. We are balancing that every single day. In fact, Republicans said that we need to protect Medicaid. All right, next question.
Okay, next question.
Oh, can you hear me? Yes.
Look, so you may think, well, is it going to make a difference? Is this actually going to make a difference? My answer to you is yes. Do you think these folks want to stand there and hear this? And this is what you should be doing. This is what they should be doing, I should say. This is what they should be doing, is facing the people, their constituents, whether those constituents are Republicans or MAGA or whatever. These Congress people, these representatives, perhaps they are MAGA. Obviously, they are conservative. But it doesn't mean that every single person in their district agrees with them, regardless of their ideology, regardless of their whatever political party they belong to. And they have the right to get out and voice their opinions. Their vote. Do you know how much money? Do you know what a vote is worth? I believe a vote is worth millions of dollars. I believe your vote is worth millions of dollars. And so your hard-earned, very expensive, valuable vote affords you the opportunity and the right to tell your representatives how you feel. I believe that it does. So folks should be out there voicing their opinions and their concerns with Representative Mike Flood, as they did with Representative Gabe Evans from Colorado. Here it is.
So the question from Marshall was,
like a teacher repeating the question for all the class
By
to
the way,
hear,
pause this.
Republican
Pause.
Congressman Gabe Evans needed to listen closely.
Can you pause this and go back to where you started, Andy? This is what I want to. I forgot to tell you what I wanted to say about this. That's what they did with this to him. So Gabe Evans should be given the business. But I want you to pay attention to how this reporter is treating. Look at Boebert, Lauren Boebert over there on the right. Lord have mercy. So this is what reporters should be doing. Now, this is a local reporter. I do believe it's a local reporter. I don't think he's a national reporter anywhere that I know of. I could be wrong. But this is how they should be chasing these people down. And I'm not talking about physical violence or anything, but chasing them down, yes, and getting in their faces and saying, what are you doing? Answer my questions. Don't run away from me. Like I said to you yesterday, they should be doing this in the briefing room every single day, but they're not. Here and there, it's not enough. And if they continue to do it every day in the briefing room, it will not be a show. If they were aggressive in the way that they should be aggressive, they would shut that briefing down every day. If reporters bombarded Caroline Leavitt, whoever's at that podium, even the president of the United States, if they bombarded them every single day with pertinent questions and not just sit there and be docile and say, okay, they're going on to the next person. No, hey, hold on. No. And Donald Trump is going to say, you're disrespectful. Just no, you're disrespectful because you're not answering. Yeah, I respect the office of the presidency, but I also respect it when the person who is occupying it respects it. And you also need to respect the American people, and you need to respect the press as well, because we are protected in the First Amendment. But this reporter is doing what he should be doing. Two things here. Watch how the people are pushing back against this representative, and watch this reporter. Watch and learn. Here it is.
Like a teacher repeating the question for all the class to hear, Republican Congressman Gabe Evans needed to listen closely and talk loud enough to overcome protesters who showed up at his news conference about the one big beautiful bill that passed the House last week.
Congressman, how many of the 214,000 on Medicaid in your district are cheats that need to be kicked off?
After repeating my question for all to hear, here's what Evans said.
We went through the answer, Marshall. You got illegal immigrants. You've got people who are ineligible for the program. Those are the ones who will be removed from the program. And then we have 4.8 million people across the country, able-bodied, working-aged adults with no dependents, who have the ability to choose to go to work or school or volunteer part-time in order to keep their Medicaid benefits.
I'm looking for a number in your district who are in those categories.
People who are no longer eligible for Medicaid.
Do you not know the number? That sounds anecdotal.
I'm telling you the number right now. You may not like the answer, but that's the answer. Next question.
Categories of people are not numbers. I did not get an answer.
Kyle Clark is, do we have him going up? Because he said, I did not get an answer. And then do we have the rest of it where he says, I'm going up to the, that he said that he had 10, he had a hard out at 10 o'clock. Was that on there? Did I overlook that?
I didn't see it. We might have cut it out.
Okay. Yeah. So he at the end of it, can we find the end of it? I want to find it because I really want to shout this reporter out. Is there any way? I'm sorry to do that to you, Andy. But at the end of it, he says he tries to get an answer to the question, and the congressman doesn't answer him. The representative doesn't answer him. And then he said the representative told him that he had a 10 o'clock hard out. And then the representative starts walking up the steps at, I believe it is 9:54. Right, 9:54. And he said, and then the reporter follows him up the steps to make sure that he got the question in.
I think I have it.
Yeah.
Questions to ask. And after the news conference, Evans said he had a hard out at 10 a.m. It was 9:54 when he started walking up the steps of the state capitol.
Congressman, it's not 10 yet. So, how does taking people off Medicaid and into emergency rooms for uncompensated care help medical providers in your district?
Do you want illegal immigrants on Medicaid, Marshall?
That's what you should be doing. And then Marshall, I'm sure we had a good response, but you have to have a good response to that. That's what you should be doing. Every single reporter should make the folks who are in Washington answer to the people. They work for the people. Kyle Clark is the anchor in Denver for News 9. Great anchor. He does some really good stuff. And the reporter is Marshall Zellinger of News 9 News in Denver, doing a really, really great job. Now, here's what's frustrating to a lot of people. Every time they're asked about the White House, right? And I tell you about these White House briefings. Every time someone in the White House is asked about, hey, what's going on? Why are you guys defying federal judges? Why do these judges keep ruling against you? And they always have an answer. And someone said it, the exact same answer. Someone said it in the chat earlier. Every time a judge rules against them, or every time a reporter asks a question they don't like, they always do what? Demonize the reporter, denigrate the reporter, demonize the judge, denigrates the judge. Instead of saying, you know what? We're going to figure out it is in court. We're going to do what we have to do, blah, blah, blah. They're going to do, it is an activist judge. Watch. Here is Caroline Levitt.
America cannot function if President Trump, or any other president for that matter, has their sensitive diplomatic or trade negotiations railroaded by activist judges.
Yeah. Everyone is an activist judge. And she went on longer. There's a longer clip of her talking about activist judges, activist judges, activist judges. Because they do not have an answer. They do not have a good answer. Yeah. A judge is going to rule against you if you are doing something that is unlawful or unconstitutional. Where was the next question there too? Well, perhaps Caroline Levitt, Miss Levitt, perhaps the judges are ruling against the Trump administration and Donald Trump because he's doing something unconstitutional. That judges take an oath. So how are they activist judges if they are following the Constitution, they're following the law? What law did they break? What gives Donald Trump absolute impunity to be able to do whatever he wants to do as president? I don't see a law that says that. I don't see any amendment in the Constitution that says that. So explain to me, why aren't they doing it? Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.